Hi friends, how are you? Welcome back to the cybersecurity. Today we will discuss about the AAA Authentication, Authorization and Accounting. It is a security framework that controls and track access of computer and computer resources. It enforce it enforce policies, audit uses and privileges. Okay, it enables the IT team to easily maintain the network security and computer resources. Okay, AAA framework has a chronological order from authentication to authorization, although it has a three elements AAA authentication authorizations in acronym, but it actually refers five elements: identification, authentication, authorization, auditing and accounting. Okay, let's take the first element, identification. Identification is a process to identify who are you when you try to access a secure system or area. By which you can uniquely identify by the systems. It includes three sentences like what you know means you know about your PIN, password. Okay, third, what you have means you have a ID card, token ID, smart card. Third is what you are means something you are means like biometric data such as a fingerprint or facial scan. Okay, these are the three terms by which identification process identify about you, who are you, what you know and what you possess. Now we'll discuss about the next term, authentication. It is a process of verifying or test your identity, it is a valid or not, valid or not. Like when you are providing your password, or PIN, it comparing with the database of validity about the identity. Generally, identification and authentication are used together as a single two-step process. First is providing your identity, and second step is authentication factor. Is the second step. Without both, user cannot access of system, even he cannot get the permission without this. What are the use cases of authentications? Use cases of authentication is like when you are logging to your Facebook account, Gmail account, or your official portal. You just give your user name and password. When you will provide these two credentials to the system start validating it is a valid or not with the comparing of database. What are the systems are available for authentications? Like Active Directory, is the applications by which Windows servers authenticate the user to access the systems and networks and other computer devices. On the basis of comparison, user will get access the system and network. Next, authorization. Authorization means defining the permissions of resources for a specific identity. Okay, permission means allow, grant, or deny. An authorized person can access or perform any action on resources within the control environment. Okay. Authorized person can access the network, but he cannot access the switch or router on the network because he has no permission or grant to access or configure the switch or routers. Similarly, a user can access the file in a computer, but he cannot access the entire drive or disk or a hard disk because he has no permission to access the entire drive of the computer. Similarly, he can access the printer on the network, but he cannot access the other devices like computer, scanners, etc. Authorization is defined using one of the model like DAC, DAC, directory access control, and other model is role based access control, RBAC. Okay, we can here discuss the used cases of authorization. Here, suppose that let's take an example of the Google Doc, in which owner of the file or directory, he can modify, he can create, delete, modify, or share the files with the other one or anyone. Okay, he is the owner, he can create and delete, modify, or share the files. If suppose that owner give some permission to any users, that user called the authorized user. He has permission read only mode only. Read only the file, or he can share the file to others, but he cannot delete, modify, update that user. Even he can comment on that file also, he can comment on the resource. He is the owner of the resource and he is the authorized user to access this file or resource. So here three things are there. One is resource. Resource means documents. Owner, he can create, delete. The third one is the authorized user. He has some permissions on the file or resource. Okay, like we will take the live example or applications. CRM, customer relationship management applications, in which the owner of the resources, he gives some permission on the portal called the CRM, in which he grants some permissions like read, share, and watch the thing, share the comments, check the status. Here we can see that there is a this is the example of the authorizations, how the system work for the authorizations. There is a database on the AAA server where the host user A has the permission, we have privilege for the 3 levels, and host B permission has a permission at single level for the particular time. Whenever a user try to access the file on the network or internet or other resources, the user's permissions got to this way and compare the identity and permissions, then after it will give the permission to the user, he can access over the network like resources like network, file, computer, servers, or any applications. Which type of permission is given to the users, he can access accordingly those applications and resources. Next is auditing. What is the auditing? Auditing means monitoring or recording the logs of event and activity related to the users and system. Actions are tracked and recorded for accountability of users, while actions are performed on a system and to detect the unauthorized or abnormal activities on a system. Auditing generally is the monitor the things or recording the logs. Here monitoring means watching or oversight, or auditing means recording information into the record or file, into the file system. Okay, next is accountability. Accountability is the final process of the framework. It measures what is happening within the network or system. In other words, we can say that users are responsible for their actions and activities. Effective accountability depend on users' identity and track their activities or actions. In this way, human accountabilities depend on the strength of authentication process. Without a strong authentication process, there is always doubt on activities or on human. So we can say that we can ensure the accountability on the network or system by the network protocols like Radius and Takas Plus. in which we can track and trace the activities of the users, what actions are being done by the users on the network. Here we can see that host A is the online on this date for this period, or he is the online last 1 hour 22 minutes. Due to his or her activities, this much traffic is generating around 496 kb is traffic generating due to their activities on the network. So we are tracing that his or her activity or action on the computer on the network. Similarly, here host B is also on the online for last 3 hours and generating the traffic 211 kb on the network. In this way, we can trace and track the activities and what traffic is generating due to his or her activities. On the basis of, we can take the actions on the users. They are doing such activity, due to this activities the traffic is generating much or less. So this was the AAA framework. Thank you, my dear friends. Keep watching, keep following Cybersecurity. Bye bye.